My name is Savannah. I'm one of the leads for Red Team Village. And today with us, we have Optiv, who is one of our gold sponsors for this year for DEF CON. So I'm going to pass it over to Kevin and Keith to kind of introduce themselves.
Sure. Yep. Keith Tomey. I am based out of Detroit, Michigan. I am a technical manager here on the attack and pen team at Optiv. Been here about 6 years. Been in the industry about 30 years now. Directly in offensive security the last 15. So most of the things I do here now is adversarial simulation, physical assessments, and then OT and ICS industrial control work. Kevin?
Thanks, Keith. Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Sukiel. I'm based out of Long Island, New York. I've been in Optiv just a little over 6 months now. I'm a senior consultant here. Prior to that, I spent some time in the New York City Police Department, where I did a little bit of everything there, and also got into some IT work there as well towards the end of my career, and shifted into offensive security into consulting after that.
Sweet. Well, I love to hear that because I love Optiv because I used to be an Optiv at one point. But we'll go ahead and kind of get started with some of the questions that we have today. I guess from your guys' perspective, where do you kind of see red teaming at Optiv, and how have you seen it kind of change over the last few years at Optiv with all the things happening in the industry?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it, Kevin. So as of late, probably the last 16 months or so, we've been focusing heavily on automation. And when I say that, not automating the test procedures, but automating infrastructures and things like that. Doing a lot more tracking of metrics and things like that, since the client is really paying at the end to see how things can get mitigated and help them. So that's one of the overall arching changes, I guess. The other thing is, of course, tactics are always evolving. We're using a lot of not only living off the land binaries, but as well, and Kevin can touch on this in a second, but using things that are found in everyday office environments and just abusing that from a social engineering perspective.
Yeah, now follow up with that, Keith. You mentioned living off the land binaries. Probably one of my, my favorite use cases of them is just using them in the ways they are meant to be used, and how we can do that and show the client, hey, we're using it in a legitimate way, but we could do malicious things with it and build that attack chain out. Using some tool, using 3 tools in a legitimate way can, maybe show some great impact in an attack chain later on down the line.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense too from my end too. I think it's almost like you're just kind of pretending to be a part of the organization nowadays. There's no not really outside of that. You have to live off of whatever is existing.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess building off of that, where do y'all kind of see the vision of red teaming at Optiv in the future?
Well, continuing to up our skill sets is primarily the thing, and that's probably the biggest challenge, is ensuring that our operators are, constantly evolving in tactics and not only knowledge of red team tactics, but as well as the mitigating factors and what would be seen on the other side of the glass when we're actually executing attack. So trying to get that well-rounded perspective versus just the way it used to be as I'm here to hack all the things. Now you have to kind of know how that's affecting and how to stop it as well, because we're doing it for fun, but we're also doing it to get paid, and clients don't pay if they don't get things fixed. So
yeah, I think the industry as a whole, right, is kind of shifting. I think here at Optiv, we're trying to conduct more and more realistic and comprehensive simulations that mimic like these real world attacks that we're reading about after they have happened. Whether it be from an APT or or somebody else. We see that this stuff doesn't always involve like heavy technical exploits, but again, like we mentioned, living off the land binaries, but also physical and social engineering attacks as well. So that's where I think we see the industry shifting there.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree with that too. Diving into that more, I mean, everyone is saying that they're doing red teaming, and there's some people who are just doing pen testing when they think they're doing red teaming. How do you guys see Optiv like differentiating themselves with red teaming amongst other consultancy firms? Like, what makes Optiv unique when they're delivering that red team assessment?
Yeah, good question. So it could be a little bit subjective, I guess, but in my opinion, when we are doing the pre-planning with a client for a red team, we are not getting any information at all from them. We're not saying, what does your host look like or what type of thing. We don't even ask them what business they're in. That's up to us as a red team operator to determine that stuff. And then likewise, the discovery factor of not just spinning up VPSs to do any kind of discovery and be, clandestine, but now engaging AI systems and things like that to do some of that discovery that are way less detectable than anything we could spin up in a time frame. So that's kind of from my area what I've been seeing and what I've been working on with the team.
Yeah, for me personally, it's been actually one differentiating factor for me here at Optiv was been after the assessment is over and having that debrief call with the client and engaging with their blue team and people who are on the other side, trying to catch us and, being able to help this organization, improve their defensive strategies, right? Because at the end of the day, that's our goal here. It's not to just go out and get you, but it's to help these organizations improve their overall security posture. So that's really been awesome here at Optiv.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that. I do miss those days.
Yeah, we definitely miss you, Savannah. So
I'm always miss you too.
Yeah.
From y'all's perspective, since you have both been in the industry for a while, what do you kind of see as advice for people who, if they're already in doing red teams right now or wanting to kind of make that shift from pen testing to red teaming, what would you kind of want to give for advice?
Yeah, so I guess how we do it at Optiv and things might be a little different from a workload perspective, but a cadence and tempo perspective. We move super fast. We move through a lot of different engagements, all with the same level of detail and operation and execution. So you have to be super motivated, not just to train on your own, but also to be, operate at that high level and high pace. That can bring out the best in people and sometimes the worst in people, myself included. So I would say self-reflect, know what your limitations are, and make sure you don't lose fun doing it, because really that's what, at least for me, kept me in the game all this time, is I just absolutely enjoy doing it. But it is high stressful, so you got to learn how to do that self-reflection.
Yeah, personally, Keith, I love coming to work every day because I really do enjoy what I do here.
Mm-hmm.
My bit of advice would be to people who are looking to break into like the red teaming is don't take no for an answer. Be motivated, be diligent. There's so much material out there, open source, content out there that you could read and get better. Keith and I, right? I mean, things change every day. Something we did yesterday may not work tomorrow, and so having that, that constant urge to want to be better, learn the new tricks, like having that as a personality trait and trying to break into red teaming, you'll be very successful. So just to stay motivated, like Keith said.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that statement you're saying. Just because it works today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. So it hurts when that happens.
Yeah.
And we've literally seen that, with either payload delivery or, a social engineering tactic that, hey, I was literally just calling into their SOC, pretending to be their SOC yesterday, and now all of a sudden things aren't working. So, yeah.
Yeah, Stacy from HR ratted us out. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess as we kind of close this out, are there any final words you guys want to give to everyone who's kind of watching the stream today and whatnot?
Yeah, just to reiterate, have fun. I'm sure that most of us and people that are viewing this are doing it because they think it's going to be a fun life skill. Really is what it is. It's a life of doing this. Just keep having fun. Find that enjoyment and get that rush when you get that beacon call back, or you successfully get into that building. It keeps all of us coming back. It's, you have bad days. It's almost like golf, right? You have a bad hole, and then the next hole you're hitting above par, you're hitting par, and you're back playing the game again. So, yeah, just have fun doing it.
I couldn't have said any better, Keith. You used two of my favorite things there, getting beacons and going golfing. So I really, I have nothing else to add to that, but absolutely have fun. Don't the stress of trying to evade detection ruin the experience for you. Red teams are a team exercise for a reason. So always lean on your team members and your teammates to, help fill in those gaps when maybe you're not, just when you're not, at 110% that day. So, have fun and try and be par,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And I know, Keith, you had mentioned you're not going to be at DEF CON, but Kevin is going to be at DEF CON. What are your plans for DEF CON, Kevin?
Oh, man. So I'm super pumped, right? I'm going to be volunteering at the Red Team Village. And, I think I'll even be attending the Red Team Village party. I think so. I'll super excited about that, and actually going to be able to go to B-Sides too, which will be fun too. So I'm getting there a couple days early to kind of absorb as much of Hacker Summer Camp as I possibly can. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there and seeing all other people too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I can't wait to see you there, and then everyone else who's watching. We can't wait to have everyone at the Village this year. Thank you, Keith and Kevin, for coming on today from Optiv. We can't thank you enough for being a sponsor for this year.
Sure. Thank you for having us, and thanks for continuing to cultivate the community. It's been awesome that. So, yeah.
All right, guys, we can wrap it up here.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye.